I'll be the first to say that there are no such things as good deals on the internet for retro video games anymore. Everybody, and I mean everybody, knows what they have now. Even grandma won't sell off her grandson's Nintendo collection anymore because there might be a stadium events in there or a Nintendo World Championship cart worth thousands of dollars thanks to local news stations and the internet. Everybody knows what they have. But there are sometimes exceptions to that rule. Sometimes people are just strapped for cash and they need to go to their local pawn shop or Craigslist to make a quick buck. I found something recently off of Craigslist that I thought would make a good video. A huge lot of video games I purchased with PS2, GameCube, Nintendo 64, you name it. I thought it was good enough to make a video about, so let's check out what I got. Alright, the first little lot of games that came with this deal were these GameCube games. Now, this was the first thing that caught my eye when I clicked on this ad, and that would be this front row here. This entire Resident Evil collection for the GameCube is starting to become more and more rare, especially Resident Evil 2, 3, and especially Resident Evil Code Veronica for the GameCube. This game alone can fetch about $50. So that was definitely attractive to me. Of course, we got Zelda Wind Waker, and then the 2 game bonus discs that came with Ocarina of Time and the Master Quest, also on GameCube. And thanks to this guy, he kept his games in immaculate condition, so they all have manuals, everything's there. Just this row of games alone was definitely worth the price I paid, which I'm not going to reveal until the end. Of course, you got some common games and some stinkers in there, like Smuggler's Run, that literally came out for every next-gen platform that year. It was out for the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. That game sucks. You know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Lord of the Rings, those games aren't going to fetch anything. Then you got your, who doesn't have a copy of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Namco Museum. So, barring these games, which when you buy a lot of games on the internet, you're going to have to take some games that you don't want, but you're going to have to sacrifice that for these good ones. So, this alone was a pretty damn good deal. I actually should say, though, before I move on, I did a little quick averaging out of these games on eBay, the average eBay price for a game like this, or any of these games. And since I have a lot of spare time on my hands, I did that for every single one of these games. I'm going in by category of the system here, so for this GameCube collection, the average eBay price would be around $316. Alright, up next we have our PlayStation 1 games that also came in this collection. Now again, the picture that the guy had on Craigslist, they were all kind of clustered together in a stack so you couldn't see the faces of the games. One title that I did notice though on the spine of one of the games that caught my eye like that was this right here, Marvel vs. Capcom, the original Marvel vs. Capcom for PlayStation. Now this game alone fetches about $50 on eBay, so when I saw that, I got a rock hard erection, and adding to the Resident Evil Complete collection on here, I felt like I had to get it just for Marvel vs. Capcom in and of itself, which is honestly one of the greatest fighting games that I've ever played. Also in the collection, Resident Evil 2 for PlayStation. That's a pretty good find. Not a super rare game, but definitely a good one to have in your collection. Then you have your Mortal Kombat 4, which... I like Mortal Kombat, so I wanted that in my collection. Then you have Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is a great game. Not the best port graphically. I mean, it's okay. You have some Duke Nukem games in here. Those are always fun. And then you have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, which I literally spent hours and hours and hours and hours of my teenage life playing. You have Blood Omen in here. You have Soul Reaver. Solid PlayStation 1 collection. I mean, normally you get a lot of sports games and a lot of shit like that, and here you have it's pretty solid. Of course, you have your Medal of Honor, which fetches about $3 on eBay. So, but this total package here, if I was to sell all this, average eBay price be about $183 for all these games. Alright, the most overwhelming part of this game collection off of Craigslist was this guy's collection of PlayStation 2 games. Now, there aren't too many gems in here, and PlayStation 2 games in general don't go as much as, say, GameCube games, so this Code Veronica, which would be about $50 on the GameCube, is about $12 on the PlayStation 2. Don't know why. People want it on GameCube more. we see some games here that are just fun. I mean, they might not be worth a lot of money, but they're just solid, fun games that I haven't had a chance to play yet. Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Simpsons Road Rage, very fun game. Of course, I have Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance on every damn system now. Then you got, you know, your typical Star Wars games, Jedi Starfighter, that's like in every collection. Then you just have Starfighter, Star Wars Starfighter, and then you have Jedi Starfighter. Man, they weren't milking that title at all. Some ones that were more notable, not these two, I don't know why those are over here. Shinobi, Sega's Shinobi title, that will be a fun one to play. These games definitely are not rare, but I've been wanting to play them. Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. Very excited to play those games. That's a later Capcom franchise that I have yet to have the pleasure of playing. This guy was apparently into Mortal Kombat. He has a deluxe edition of Mortal Kombat Armageddon. So it's in a nice little metallic case there. And probably the most expensive game in this collection is the Mortal Kombat Deception Deluxe 2 game edition here. Not a lot of rare games in this PS2 part of the lot, but a lot of damn fun games that I'm excited to play. And just to give you an idea about how not super rare or costly these games are, the average eBay price for all of these is only $220. Alright, what else did I get in this collection? Well, I got about 18 of these AV cables to PlayStations. I don't know why this guy had so many, but he gave me all of them. So I now have AV cables for like an army of PlayStation games. What else did he throw in? Well, let's see here. 2 PS1 controllers without the DualShock. 1 with, and granted, these are all in great condition. Sometimes when you buy controllers off of Craigslist, you know, little kids had them and their peanut butter and jelly is all mushed in there, or food and shit, and it's really gross. But he kept all this stuff in really great condition. A fat PlayStation 1. Awesome. A slim PlayStation 1. Pretty cool. Some manuals here to Nintendo 64 games. So we got Super Mario 64 manual. We've got Asteroid 64, Donkey Kong 64, NASCAR 2064, Mario Golf, Diddy Kong Racing, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer, and a Nintendo 64 manual. Hey, if he's throwing them in, I'll take them. Manuals are always collectible. He also threw in some GameCube games that weren't, or not GameCube, I'm sorry. He threw in some Nintendo 64 games that weren't even in the listing, which I thought was like added bonus much. So here we have Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. I'll take it. Shadow Man. Don't you always remember seeing this game of the guy holding the skull at Blockbuster whenever you went to Nintendo 64 section? I've never played this damn game, but I swear I've seen it so many times. NASCAR 2000. I could give a fuck about that game. Asteroid 64. Why? But, you know, still nice. Nice gesture. Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. But probably the coolest title was Goemon's Great Adventure for the N64. This is about a $40 or $50 game on eBay. He just threw it in there. Cool. And we have a complete in-box slim PlayStation 2. With everything, manuals, control, everything. Complete in-box. The total for all this extra stuff that he gave me, $178. So I did a little addition here, and I added up this whole lot of shit that I got off of Craigslist, in one go. And for all these games, everything, if I was to sell this on eBay for the average going price, I could have asked $897. How much did I pay for all this? Well, in the ad he wanted $250, but I got him down to $220. $220 for almost $1,000 worth of retro goodies. That just goes to show you that keep the faith. Always stay on Craigslist. Check it all the time because these deals pop up and you gotta swoop in, offer them cash day of or the next day, meet up with them, give them the cash, boom. Got it. Now, I am not a video game reseller. I am not trying to make money off of these. I plan on playing every single one of these games, although I am going to sell some of them because I already have the complete Resident Evil collection and the Zelda games. But hey, I thought this was a great Craigslist find, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Remember to subscribe and have a good rest of your night or day. Well, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please click on the bottom 2 videos if you can't get enough of the overstimulation station. I review the top 10 least fun games on the Super Nintendo, and then the video to the right, episode 13, is the downfall of physical media, whether it be vinyl records, CDs, or anything like that. We are doomed to an age of only digital media now. Please click on it and check it out. Love you guys. Thank you for the support.